Tonight, you will do something no animal on Earth can do. You will flip a switch, light will flood the room, and you won't think twice about it. But for 99.9% of human history, that switch didn't exist. When the sun went down, the world went black. Not dim, not quiet, black. So dark you could not see your own hand in front of your face. For 300,000 years, your ancestors survived that darkness huddled inside a 30-foot circle of firelight, the only thing standing between them and everything that hunted them at night. And inside that circle, something happened that no scientist fully predicted. Something that built every church, every temple, every god, every prayer ever whispered into the dark.
This is not the story of religion as philosophy. This is the story of religion as biology. And once you understand what actually happened around that fire, you will never look at a dark room the same way again.
Here is something that sounds ordinary until you understand what it was actually doing. In 2014, anthropologist Polly Weisner published a landmark study after spending decades recording conversations in ancient hunter-gatherer camps. Her finding was strange enough to stop the room. During the day, 80% of all human conversation was practical. Logistics, food, who hunts where, who owes whom what, transactional, efficient, animal. But the moment the sun went down and the fire came up, 81% of all conversation became stories. Not gossip, not logistics, stories. Myths about how the world began, legends of ancestors who spoke to animals, warnings disguised as adventure, moral weight dressed as entertainment.
The campfire was the original theatre, the original classroom, the original church. And it was fire itself, not intelligence, not language, not culture, that created the conditions for all of it. Because fire did something no one talks about. It didn't just keep predators away. It added 2 to 4 hours to every single human day. Hours that belonged to no task. Hours that belonged to no survival pressure. Hours that existed entirely for the human mind to do the one thing it does better than any creature alive: wonder.
Have you ever woken up at 2 a.m., mind completely clear, not anxious, just awake? Like something called you back from sleep for a reason you couldn't name. That is not insomnia. That is not malfunction. That is a 300,000-year-old program still running inside your body. For most of human history, people did not sleep in one solid 8-hour block. They slept 4 hours, woke for 1 to 2 hours of what medieval Europeans called the first quiet, and then slept again until dawn. And during that middle-of-the-night window were found their brains flooded with prolactin, the same neurochemical produced during deep meditation, the same calm that follows prayer. Our ancestors lay in that state, between sleep and waking, brain chemistry altered, the Milky Way casting actual shadows above them, and they thought. They processed their dreams while still fresh. They felt presences in the silence. They heard patterns in the wind. They didn't choose to believe in the supernatural. Their biology delivered it to them every single night at 2 a.m. for 300,000 years.
We were taught that religion came after civilization, that first we settled, then we farmed, then we built temples. The archaeology says the complete opposite. In southeastern Turkey, a site called Göbekli Tepe was constructed 12,000 years ago, before farming, before pottery, before permanent homes. Hunter-gatherers, people with no fixed address, somehow organized themselves to carve and erect 20-foot stone pillars and build the first monumental ritual structure on Earth. Inside, researchers found massive stone vats containing chemical traces of fermented grain. These people were not farming to make bread. The leading theory, proposed by archaeologist Patrick McGovern, is that the desire for ritual feasting and altered states may be the very reason humanity settled down in the first place. Not survival, ceremony. In 2006, archaeologists opened a coffin in western China. Inside was a shaman buried with nearly 2 pounds of cannabis, a going-away gift for the other side. And it wasn't random.
The human body contains a molecule called anandamide, from the Sanskrit word for bliss, that fits into the exact same receptor cannabis activates. We didn't stumble onto these plants by accident. We found them because our brains were already built to receive them. The door was already there. These were just keys.
But here is the question nobody asks. Why did we need the supernatural at all? Why couldn't we just exist as biological animals, living and dying without meaning? From Calhoun's experiment in 1968, we can say that another reason the colony collapsed was meaninglessness. Religion solved this problem for humans with breathtaking elegance. It turned a hunter into a provider blessed by ancestral spirits. It turned a grandmother into a vessel for the myths of the dead. It gave every person in the circle a role that extended beyond survival into something cosmic. The gods didn't descend from the sky. They rose from the fire, from the stories told in the dark, from a brain wired for meaning, running its 2 a.m. program, staring at a sky so clear the stars felt close enough to touch. Religion wasn't a choice. It was the only logical output of a human nervous system pushed to its limit by darkness, altered chemistry, and the desperate need to matter.
We made real trades to get here. We traded the terror of the dark for the light switch, but we also traded the 2 a.m. quiet, the altered brain state where our ancestors heard the gods, the campfire hours where stories became law and the dead became teachers and the stars became something personal. You still have the body of a hunter-gatherer, the same nervous system built to sit inside a 30-foot circle of firelight and feel something vast and nameless pressing in from the dark. The next time you wake at 2 a.m., don't reach for your phone. Don't flood yourself with blue light. Don't call it insomnia and scroll until it goes away.
Your ancestors built every religion on Earth in that exact state, in that exact silence, in that exact darkness. The program is still running. It never stopped. Göbekli Tepe was built 12,000 years ago, before farming, before cities, before writing. The first thing humanity built at scale was not a home. It was a temple. What are your thoughts on this? Like, comment, and hit the notification button for more.